Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Today, we're analyzing a moment in rugby that is, well, it's forcing everyone else to sit up and take notice. We're not just looking back at the Springboks' astonishing 2025 season.
No, we're using that success as a launchpad to look potentially a full decade into the future.
Exactly.
Our mission for this deep dive is to really get a grip on the scale of their recent dominance and then connect that directly to these high-stakes contract talks, the ones aiming to lock in Rassie Erasmus until 2031.
And SA Rugby moved fast. I mean, right after the November Internationals finish, they were straight into talks.
Immediately, it signals a whole new way of thinking about long-term planning.
So before we get into the record-breaking numbers and, the mechanics of this decade-long plan, we really want to know what you think. If you love staying informed on the most important rugby news, please subscribe to Rugby Obsession right now.
And share your comments and opinions on this deep dive. We read them all.
Okay, let's get into it. The 2025 dominance. Let's start with the raw numbers.
Yeah, the cold, hard facts, because they really make this conversation necessary. It wasn't just winning, it was. It was a kind of hyper-efficiency. The headline figure is 12 wins.
12 wins from 14 tests.
Right. And across a full demanding year, that level of consistency is just, it's world class.
It sits a ridiculously high bar. But for me, the really shocking part is in the attack, which, for the Springboks, is not historically their calling card. We have to talk about the tries, 81 tries.
81 tries, which equals the all-time record. But here's the kicker. That record was set back in 2007, and the 2007 team, they played 17 tests to get there.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just process that.
Yeah.
The 2025 team scored the exact same number of tries.
The exact same.
In 3 fewer matches.
Yes, so the volume is down, but the output is the same, which means the average is what really matters here.
And what's that average?
A new record, 5.78 tries per test. It's almost unthinkable for a Springbok team.
It means they've fundamentally changed. This isn't just about a big pack and a good kicking game anymore.
Absolutely not. It shows a fluidity, a speed of ball that now complements their traditional power. They're not just a defensive juggernaut. They're an offensive machine that can dismantle you with pace.
And that new formula delivered big time. First, the successful defense of the Rugby Championship.
Cemented their status in the Southern Hemisphere for sure.
But then they proved it travels.
Oh, it definitely travels. They went to Europe and completed a second straight unbeaten outgoing tour. Won all 5 tests in November.
Against the best of the Northern Hemisphere. So this isn't a fluke. It's a repeatable, exportable formula.
And that sustained excellence, that is the foundation for everything we're about to discuss with the contract. It has to be.
When you deliver that kind of firepower, year after year, every other nation, every big club in Europe, they're either trying to copy you or they're trying to poach your coach.
And that urgency is what's driving this 2031 negotiation. We know Rassie's current deal runs until the 2027 World Cup.
Right, in Australia.
But if you look at his whole tenure, since 2018 as director of rugby and head coach, it's 89 tests.
And the win rate?
He's won 64 of them. That's a 72% win rate.
72%. Over that period, with 2 World Cups in the bag. It's why our source material is calling him, and I quote, arguably already the greatest Springbok coach of all time.
It's a huge statement.
It is a huge statement. And I have to push back a little here. I mean, given the history, how do you weigh that against past legends who maybe face different kinds of pressures?
That's a fair question. I think the difference is the sheer stability he's provided across multiple cycles. He navigated the global shutdown in 2020 and came out stronger. They've transitioned their playing style while still winning. That is what sets this era apart. That stability is priceless.
And that's what SA Rugby is trying to buy.
For a very long time. The reported willingness is to get an extension signed all the way to 2031.
To the World Cup in the USA.
Yeah.
They're planning 2 full cycles ahead.
And what's fascinating is when the talks started, it was after the Rugby Championship win, before the unbeaten tour of Europe was even a reality.
So they were being preemptive. They knew the offers from France and England would be coming thick and fast.
Exactly. Get ahead of the market. Because a 2-time World Cup winning coach is the hottest property in the sport.
Okay, so this raises a huge question, not just for us, but for you listening. Planning out to 2031, doesn't that carry an enormous amount of risk? A decade is a long time in professional sport.
It absolutely does. And that's why the core of the negotiations is what we're calling the team factor. It's not just about him.
What do you mean?
Erasmus wants to guarantee he can keep his trusted coaching staff, his whole team. He knows he can't manage the demands of 2 more World Cup cycles by himself, Think about player burnout, injuries, squad turnover.
He needs that whole support structure locked in with him.
Yes, and the sources say that's not expected to be a problem given the success. But it's a massive financial commitment from SA Rugby.
It is. So here's a question for everyone. Does planning this far out to 2031 guarantee Springbok dominance? Or does it risk stagnation? We really want you to let us know.
We encourage you to subscribe to Rugby Obsession and give us your opinions on this. It's an unprecedented move.
And the impact of all this, it goes so much further than just the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
This era under Erasmus has generated so much national pride. It's been a real unifying force.
You could see that so clearly in the official comments from the SA Rugby president, Mark Alexander, when the team got back from Europe.
Right.
He barely focused on the results. It was all about the character of the squad, the cultural impact.
He talked about their resilience, their discipline, what was the phrase? Sacrifices, dedication, and unwavering commitment.
Yeah, and how they've served as true ambassadors for the nation, carrying themselves with dignity. It's powerful stuff.
It really is. He hammered home that the Springbok jersey now represents unity, hope, and the pride of our people.
And to maintain that, you need more than just good players. You need that management structure that keeps everything at an elite level, ethically and professionally.
Okay, so let's zoom in on that structure. Because it's not just Rassie. It's a huge, specialized machine.
It's a massive operation. You've got Rassie as head coach, Charles Wessels as general manager, and then this whole suite of expert assistants. Tony Brown, Dion Davids, Jerry Flannery.
Dean Human, Felix Jones, Ms. Wandolph Stick. The list goes on. But it's their specific roles that are so interesting.
Exactly. Look at Jocko Paper. His title is Laws and Discipline Advisor.
So what does that actually mean in practice?
It means he's giving them a tactical edge. He's analyzing law changes, referee tendencies, ensuring they give away fewer penalties in crucial moments. It translates directly into fewer yellow cards and more disciplined defense under pressure.
So it's a marginal gains approach applied to discipline?
Precisely. And then you have a role like Dwayne Vermeulen's, the Moby unit coach.
A unique title.
It is. He's not a full-time skills coach.
Yep.
He leverages his elite, very recent test experience to work with small groups, the Moby unit, on specific things like breakdown intensity and mindset. It's targeted intervention from someone who is just there.
And this whole setup, this whole infrastructure is what allows them to stay ahead. The mix of new blood like Tony Brown and Felix Jones with established figures like Davids and Stick.
It's an ecosystem designed for constant adaptation. And that's why SA Rugby is willing to commit to 2031. They're not just locking in one man, they're locking in the entire system.
A holistic approach to being the best. It's not just finding great players. It's funding and sustaining the environment around them.
And that system is the real blueprint for longevity. It's the depth there that allows you to hit an average of 5.78 tries per test.
So if we pull this all together, what's the core finding of this deep dive?
Well, the undeniable numbers of 2025, from the trophies to the tries, have basically paved the way for SA Rugby to try and secure their greatest ever coach for potentially another decade.
And the focus is all on stability, on continuity, cementing a legacy through this incredibly detailed management team.
Which has huge implications for global rugby. You know, in a sport that usually lives in these frantic 4-year World Cup cycles, a potential contract through 2031 just changes the game entirely.
It's a different timeline.
It's a different dimension. It feels like the Springboks are trying to build an era of unprecedented continuity, and they're challenging every other top nation to match that long-term vision.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Are the Springboks attempting to cement an era of unprecedented longevity, fundamentally changing the competitive balance of global rugby for the next decade?
A provocative thought, indeed.
Don't miss out on these insights. Make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession, and please share your thoughts and opinions on the discussion today. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we will look forward to you listening to our next episode.